Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium here on a beautiful Thursday night. Rain has passed and we're ready for some baseball. Tonight's matchup brings us to the rematch of last year's MINK League Championship between the St. Joseph Mustangs and the Clarinda A's. I'm Jackson Phelps. Joined next to me, Truman Greasel. And Truman, a matchup that people have had circled in red on their calendars for the whole year. One loss for these Mustangs against these A's and another matchup between last year's MINK League Championship. It'll be a good one.
I mean, you've got both top teams in the MINK League right now. This is either teams that, there's a bit of chippiness, bit of a rivalry, and A's were one win away last year from claiming a MINK League championship, and the Mustangs stormed back to win games 2 and 3 of that championship. But the A's already did get the Mustangs once this season. It was a close game, back and forth. Mustangs left the tying run stranded on third. I mean, this is between these two giants, it's really a game of inches. The mistakes, the errors, the walks, the hit-by pitches are really going to have to be limited.
They are. The A's are coming off a really nice win yesterday on Sedalia, where they won 22-11 on 20 team hits. So this team definitely knows how to put the barrel onto the ball. And a little bit of a shaky couple of starting pitcher starts for these Mustangs. They're definitely going to have to dial it in. It'll be Landon Reef on the mound. We'll get more into the starting lineups and the starting pitchers after our pregame show. But like you mentioned, limiting those mistakes. It's going to be the winner of the, limiting those mistakes and the errors. It's going to be one of those games where it could have some chippiness. We could have some talk in between both dugouts. It got chippy last game. We're got some talks that it could get to that point, but players are going to have to control the emotions here and really hone in their games. But Mustangs come in at 19-3, 14-2 in the MINK, as the A's come in 14-6 and 12-3 in the MINK. So your top two teams as far as MINK League standings step foot into Phil Welch. But starting lineups are going to get announced. We're going to come back with starting pitcher and starting lineups. You're watching Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium. Making his 4th start on the season will be Landon Reith. Reith hoists a 2-0 win-loss record, a 3 ERA on 18 strikeouts and just 5 walks. And Reith, the last couple of games, the Mustang starters haven't really been that predominant factor. It's still been that bullpen and getting those bats started early. So Reith in a tough spot against a really heavy A's batting order, which we'll get a look at here. As the A's come in with some of the best batting averages in the MINK League as far as Drake Cobb, Brady Dobson, and Cooper Knight, who we'll mention. But lead it off, it'll be Colin Linteo, Tyler Macon, Drake Cobb, Kane Wilson, Cooper Knight, Brady Dobson, Tavon Hollamore, Micah Nicholson, and Jake Espeland. But it is Kids Take Over the Ballpark night, and we are joined by 2 special guests, as I have Arthur with us on the mic first, and Cortez is going to be running our scoreboard for a little bit, but he'll be on in a little bit. And Arthur, how are you doing tonight?
Good.
Good? You ready for some Mustangs baseball?
Yeah.
All right.
Hope they take home the win today.
That's right. As fans listening today, you'll get to hear tonight from Arthur and Cortez, our special guests here on the broadcast. It's going to be a fun night at the ballpark. As we mentioned, rematch of last year's MINK League Championship. The A's already have a win against these Mustangs under their belt. Tensions are already running high, and we're ready for first pitch in this ball game as Landon Reith trying to take over the throne for these Mustangs once again over these A's. But leading it off will be Linteo. Reith looking back at the catch, and umpire just getting the confirmation of when it's ready to start. Linteo 3 for 5 in his last game against Sedalia. And 2 RBIs. First pitch of the ball game goes outside for ball 1. And Arthur, I know we were talking before, but who's your favorite Mustangs player this year?
Darius Freeman.
Darius Freeman, that's a good one, as Linteo swings and fouls it off for strike 1. And why is Darius Freeman your favorite baseball player here on the Mustangs?
He's just phenomenal and a good ball player.
Heck yeah, that's right, he is. We got to talk to Darius yesterday. He's a fun guy to be around for sure. Count is evened up at 1 ball and a strike. Taking a little bit to get the ball out of the play area. Reith looking to come out, make a strong start today. 1-1 pitch. Down low in the zone for ball 2, so 2-1. Arthur, are you from St. Joe? Do you live in St. Joe?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. 2-1 pitch from Reith, off speed, catches the inside zone for strike 2. Evens it out at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Linteo. First at-bat of the ball game, looking to come out strong. Two-two pitch, swung on and missed. And Reith gets Linteo down, swinging on strikes for the first out and first strikeout. How'd you like that pitch there, Arthur?
Off speed, good pitch overall.
It was. It really was a good pitch from Reith, as gets the first strikeout. Up next, it'll be Tyler Macon for the A's. Quick out for Reith is what is in the order for him. Looking to get these Mustangs bats started off early. First pitch to Macon, off speed, just misses for ball 1. And Arthur, do you play any sports?
Right now I'm in soccer.
You're in soccer right now? How you liking that?
It's pretty fun.
Pretty fun. Nice. Love to hear it. Quickly, 2 balls and no strikes to Macon. 2-0 pitch misses upstairs, and quickly 3 balls and no strikes to Macon. He's looking for their first base runner of the day. Finds the inside half for strike 1. And Arthur, we were talking before, you have pitched before in baseball. What are some of those things when you get into a 3-ball count? What are some things you're thinking?
Just got to put a strike in there. Mainly rely on my 2-seam.
Okay, nice. Good 2-seam as Macon's walked on a 5-pitch walk, and that'll be the first base runner of the day for the A's. And right there, Arthur, I mean, you get a first base runner. What's going through your head for the A's?
I bet the Mustangs can hold them, but the A's are getting a good lead with a runner on first already.
That's right. Yes, they are. His first pitch to Drake Cobb is missing outside for ball one. Cobb is first in the Mink League in batting average. He's batting .576, 21 RBIs. That's third in the Mink on 1 home run, 24 runs, and 7 stolen bases. Also riding a 3-game hit streak. So that is going to bounce off the foot of Philippi, and that'll put Macon on second and an early runner in scoring position on a 2-0 count for Drake Cobb.
Yep, there you go, just like that.
All right there, Arthur. You don't want to give them too easy bases like that. You know, they can't really put him another base that easy.
Yeah, runner on second already. The A's might be getting decided soon.
That's right. 2-0 to Cobb. Swing and a miss, and a big swing from Cobb is the first strike. So 2-1 on the team's top hitter so far, batting the 3-hole tonight. Reith, so far this season, been pretty solid as well as with those strikeouts, 17. Swings and a miss for strike 2, evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking for strikeout number 2 on the night. Reese got Cobb, 2 balls and 2 strikes, Macon on second. Time's called by the infield umpire. Don't know what for. Pitch clock violation. And that'll put another ball on the board. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reith looking to avoid another base runner on. 3-2 pitch. And that is going to hit Cobb on the outer leg. And that'll plate another base runner. And Arthur, that's definitely not something you want to do there.
No, the pitcher is getting worried, so he has a little bit of the yips.
A little bit of the yips is what Arthur says with Landon Reith. Just an out for the A's, and that'll bring up Kane Wilson. Wilson so far this year, 203 average on 14 hits and 13 RBIs, and he's in a good spot here, Arthur, to drive in another run for the drive a run in for the A's. Just one out. Reith trying to get himself out of the jam. Double play ball in order. Off speed, and that hits the outside for strike 1. Arthur, who's your favorite MLB team? I know we kind of talked about it, but for the listeners home, who's your favorite MLB team?
The Astros.
The Astros. Why the Astros?
The story of Jose Altuve just kind of took me by storm.
Really? That's awesome. That's good to hear. You know, you love it. You know, you love when someone loves a team for a specific player's story, and that's really cool to hear, Arthur. But ball and a strike to Wilson. Runners haven't moved for the A's so far, so on first and second. 1-1 pitch catches the outside part for strike 2, and Reith in another good spot. Trying to get another out on the board for the Mustangs. No hits so far for the A's. Both batters advanced on the walk and a hit by pitch. 1-2 pitch is going to be chopped over to Mosh. He's going to flip it to Coy for 1. Over to first in time. And like Arthur said, a double play. And that'll leave the bases stranded for the A's. No hits, 2 runners left on, and no runs as we're headed to the bottom of the first. Nice job, Arthur. Good call.
Truman Griesel here back with you as we take a look at the A's starter for tonight. Luke Spencer making his 4th start of the season, 5th appearance. He's 2-0, 19 innings and a 1.89 ERA, and he's blowing hitters away, 23 strikeouts, just 6 walks, and opponents are just hitting a $136 against him. As this is the top 2 pitching teams in the Mink and the top 2 hitting teams. As the Mustangs lineup that will face Spencer will be Logan Miller, Jack Mosh, and Darius Freeman, then Justin George, Trevor McCollum, and Chris Coy. And then Easton Philippi, Jaden Little, and Tyler Gundelfinger round out the order. But I am now here with Cortez. And Cortez, I mean, you saw Landon Reith. Didn't allow any runs. What do you like the Mustangs to try and do here?
Just try to get a home run.
Try to get a home run. Haven't seen very many yet this season from the Mustangs. But definitely with those storms coming through, wind blowing out a little bit to center field. So it is Logan Miller. Leads off here in the bottom of the 1st for the Stangs. Local kid out of St. Joseph, Missouri. Spencer behind 3-0 early. And it's a 4-pitch walk here from Logan Miller to start the night off for the Stangs. Cortez, you know, Logan Miller, he's got some speed on him. Do you think he should try to steal some bases? What are your thoughts now that he's on first with nobody out?
I feel like he should try to.
Try to steal some bases is the call. Now, you said you play hockey, right? Big hockey guy?
Yeah.
What position do you play in hockey? Do you play kind of all over the ice?
I play lefty.
Play left defensive. Have you scored any goals, though?
In a tournament, I scored a goal, yes.
Okay, all right. First-year Mustang, Jack Mosh in the 2-hole. Night off last night. Got the second game of the doubleheader also off in Chillicothe. Spencer able to find the zone with strike 1 after 5 straight balls to start his outing. Mosh attended Minnesota University, currently in the transfer portal, still weighing his options, seeing what schools are calling, where he might take his talents to finish out his collegiate career. He rips one into right field for a base hit. Miller's going to make the turn and head for third, and he will easily be in there standing up, and just like that, Cortez, the Mustangs, they got runners at the corners with nobody out. Now to bring up Darius Freeman. Top half of the 1st inning, our other special guest up here said Darius Freeman is their favorite player. Cortez, do you have a favorite Mustangs player?
Ike Book. He used to play last year, but he doesn't play this year.
Pulling it out of the book. Ike Book, is there anybody on this team this year that you've started to really like, or are you just, sticking with Ike Book and you're just rooting on the guys?
Just sticking on Ike Book.
Sticking with Ike Book. Well, Ike, if you're listening, you've got a big fan up here in the booth tonight. Got to see Ike at the alumni game a few Saturdays ago. But it is now Darius Freeman with a big chance, leads the Mustangs in hits and RBIs. Has a big chance, drive in the first run against the rival A's. Freeman attends Central Methodist University from Kansas City, but across the state line from Kansas City, Kansas. Is that 2-1 ripped on the ground over to second for 1. Over to first, they get the speedy Freeman to roll the double play, but Logan Miller will score, and the Mustangs take their first lead. Do you like that, Cortez? I mean, they got 2 outs, but Darius Freeman was able to drive in a run. Mustangs take the 1-0 lead off the clean 4-6-3 double play.
At least we got a home run.
Now it's the cleanup hitter, Justin George. George was up in the booth last night. Got to talk to him about what goes on in his day-to-day life as he first pitch drills him right in that elbow guard. He'll be on with 2 outs. Cortez, I mean, that elbow guard, you know, it makes it so it doesn't hurt. You know, you got a lot of hockey pads on, so I'm sure even if you do get hit, does it hurt that much, even though you're wearing all those pads?
So like a few years ago, I was like trying to get the puck from somebody, and then they shot the puck and it hit me in my left thigh, and it kind of hurt, but I had to get like walked off the ice, but it eventually stopped hurting.
Mound visit here for Clarinda. The Mustangs able to strike first, and Clarinda, one of their better arms in Spencer, getting roughed up here. A walk, a hit, and now a hit by pitch. Brings up Trevor McCollum. McCollum started the game last night on the mound through 4 shutout innings, only yielded 1 hit, struck out 4. Cortez, you also say you play tackle football. Is that what you were telling us earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. What position do you play in football?
So last year I played mostly on the line, like offensive line and defensive line. This year I'm playing receiver, running back, and then I'm gonna play middle linebacker.
Was in the trenches last year. Now turning into a skill position. Are you pretty fast?
Yeah, I'm the 3rd fastest on my team.
3rd?
But now I'm the 2nd because the fastest kid on my team, he got an injury, so he can't play anymore.
That is unfortunate. It's right here, McCollum. The mound visit didn't work the magic for Spencer, as he is still yet to find the zone here against McCollum. Only the few strikes that he has thrown, the Mustangs have been able to hit. No green light. Takes strike 1. Do you think batters should swing 3-0, Cortez? Do you think even though it's not necessarily the right thing, do you think they should swing if it's a strike nonetheless?
I don't really know. Maybe, maybe not.
That is the question people ask. Do you swing? Do you not? Now full count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. 1 already home in the inning. Giving a check over to JG at first. So he will be off on the pitch. Full count offering to McCollum. He swings, drills one left field, but it's going to hang up just enough for Wilson to make the grab. But 1 home in the inning for the Mustangs on 1 hit. 1 runner left as we're headed to the top of the 2nd here at Phil Welch. Your Mustangs have an early 1-0 lead over the A's.
Jackson Phelps back here at Phil Welch. Join next to me, Arthur, once again. And Arthur, a good first inning for the Mustangs, getting a run on the board.
Yeah, I thought the A's were going to get a run there, but it turned around. The Mustangs did.
Exactly right. Reith had a good inning there. He kept them left on the base paths. You know, that's a good thing to do as a pitcher. And the Mustangs, a 1-0 lead as we're here in the second inning of work. It'll be Cooper Knight leading it off here for the A's. Knight so far batting .350, 12 RBIs on 17 runs. In a Mink League second place, 11 stolen bases on the season. So with 11 stolen bases, Arthur, this is a guy you definitely don't want on the bases. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
It's a ball and a strike tonight. Off speed catches it inside, and Reith another quick 2-strike count. Ball and 2 strikes tonight. 1-2 pitch, swung and chopped, just barely foul. It'll keep the count alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Arthur, what grade are you in?
6th.
Going in 6th grade, nice. This last school year go well for you?
Yeah.
Good. It's good to hear. Reith tonight on 1-2, swung on and chopped over to Mosh. He's gonna glove it on the sliding play. And it's gonna be
amazing
in time
play.
an amazing play. What'd you like from that, Arthur?
The sliding dive was just perfect.
It was. It really was. Mosh makes a heck of a play over at second for the first out. And Reith, another big out to start the inning with a 1-0 lead. And Mosh continuing his dominant season over at second base defensively. It'll be Brady Dobson, another big swinger here for the A's. So far this season, batting .397, 16 RBIs, 2 home runs, 19 runs, and 5 stolen bases, 3 hits. Last game out against Sedalia. Another off-speed catches the zone for strike 1. So 0-1 to Dobson. Swung on and swinged into center field. That is going to fall down for the A's' second hit of the ball game. It's a good swing by Dobson.
They have a runner on base now. They just need to get one in the far corner.
That's right, they do. Kind of put it away from these Mustangs. But what'd you like about that hit, Arthur? You like anything from just a simple hit, or?
The swing was very good.
Sure was, and Dobson finds himself on base with a 1-out single for the A's, and that'll bring up Tavon Lomalar as the first pitch off speed. Homelar for ball 1. Homelar a .429 average so far as the A's dominance throughout the Mink as the full lineups just know how to put barrel to the ball. 1-0 pitch swung on, and that's going to be chopped over to Coy. He's going to dive, and that's going to go into center field. So back-to-back base hits for the A's. Now a runner in scoring position.
That one was hit the pitcher.
It did. It was a good swing put on by Homelar. And right there, back-to-back hits, Arthur. A's are really working here in the second.
They're trying to tie it.
That's right, they are. So runner in scoring position for the A's. Brings up Micah Nicholson. 11 hits so far this year. 8 RBIs, looking to get at least one home and tie this ball game. Shows bunt, he'll pull back. It's ball 1 from Reith. You like that? You like that call? Do you like having him bunt, or as a coach, do you want him to go ahead and try and swing it and get that run home?
I think if he bunts right there, that would get the runners on second and third. And that's a good hit. Caught. No tag up, which is surprising.
No tag up at all, and what a good play-by-play from my partner, Arthur, as that ball was lined into left field, and McCollum, another jumping play, keeps runners on, like Arthur mentioned. No one tagged, and so 2 outs here for Reith, and Arthur, a big spot for the Mustangs, trying to leave these runners on once again.
I think the pitcher for the Mustangs just needs to throw some outside pitches.
We'll see if Reith can attack that outside zone.
The A's better are trying to get a hit here to put at least a runner on third.
That's right. Just try and get all those bases loaded. This first pitch swinging. It's going to be Jake Espilano. Jake Espiland. Let's go down 0-2 so far to Reith. Another 2-strike count for Reith, trying to retire the side with 2 outs.
They need to throw something inside to the batter.
We'll see here if Arthur calls it. Reith really attacking that outside. Will he go back inside? 0-2 pitch, swung on and swung into center field, a deep drive.
And that will be caught.
And Miller does catch it, like my partner Arthur says. And Reith once again leaves them stranded. 2 left on the bases on just a hit. And no runs for the A's. We're still 1-0. Mustangs lead it. You're watching Mustangs baseball here on YouTube.
Clarinda gets a pair of hits in the top half of the second, but Landon Reith strands him there as Chris Coy gets the Mustangs started. 6, 7, 8 hitters here in the bottom of the second. Cortez, Mustangs got a run in the first. You like to see him to get a few more here in the second now that Landon Reith continues to pitch well on the mound. Coy pops one up. Shallow left field over is Linteo.
That
was a good hit, but Linteo runs it down for out number 1. Got a good hit. Fortunately, didn't hit it out of the reach. Linteo. Now it brings up Easton Philippi.
I'm ready for an out-of-the-park home run.
Ready for an out-of-the-park home run. Philippi definitely possesses that power. And that lefty swinging bat, he gives a hack to that first pitch. Fouls it back. Philippi graduated from Staley High School in Kansas City just last month and is taking his talents across the state lines to Wichita, Kansas to play for the Shockers of Wichita State University. Luke Spencer back out for a second inning of work. Another one skied
Good
over
hit,
out
but
into
he
left.
might catch it.
And Wilson does track it down just inside the left field foul line for 2 quick outs now here in the bottom of the second. Now be Jaden Little. Little playing first base tonight. Got to talk with him last night as well. Him and Easton Philippi did sports commentating for a little bit last night's game, so I encourage you to go check out that stream. Little, another local product Born and raised here in St. Joe, currently attends Lincoln University. Spencer feeling himself after 2 quick outs, quickly has Little down 0-2. Little's able to stay alive. Cortez, you hit any home runs in your baseball career?
I think I hit an infield one when I
Inside
played
the park?
T-Pon. Yeah.
Little takes strike 3 right there on the corner. 1-2-3 inning for Spencer. Quickly dispose of the Mustangs here in the second, but the Mustangs still lead 1-0 headed to the third.
Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium. It's Jackson Phelps with Arthur tonight, and Arthur really impressed me. I'm going to let her try some play-by-play here in this inning. So, Arthur, it is all yours. Go ahead. I'll chime in whenever you need.
Strike looked a little high.
It sure did. It did give it a little bit high. But Reith doing a good job catching the zone on the first pitch.
Ball down low.
Was a little bit down low. You know, Reith's trying to weigh out his options here. He's had really a solid 2 innings, no runs. He's left 4 stranded.
Deep drive to center field. That will be caught.
Yes, so well. Miller did a good job reading it off the bat. First out of the inning. And a good first play from Arthur. Good job. That was really solid. That was Colin Teo. Next up, Tyler Macon.
This guy can drive some that we've seen from the first inning.
That's right. He worked a walk. He got on base, and that's all you can really ask for here in this game so far for the A's. And right here, you know, Arthur, you're down. You're up 1-0. You know, it's not a big league, but what are you looking for out of Landon Reith as the pitcher here?
I hope he just retires them all.
That's right, and he's done a good job. First out.
Landon needs to throw some off-speed pitches to Clarinda. That will be a drive to Logan Miller for out number 2.
Yes, it will. Miller, 2 straight outs for the Mustangs. As Arthur Reith is looking to retire 3 straight batters here in this inning, he's looking really solid.
Yeah.
This will be Drake Cobb looking to continue the inning for the A's.
The pitch will be in there for strike 1. Ball outside.
That looks pretty close. I don't know about you, Arthur, but that one was really close to the zone.
I think that might have been just a strike, but ball down low. Another close call.
It was. Nice job by Cobb looking at those for ball. He's got 2 and 1 on Reith.
Landon doesn't want to pitch to Cobb that much.
Looks like he's trying to get him down low. Looks like if he can bite it, put it on the ground. But a nice job by Cobb working 3 balls.
That will be Darius with a running catch.
Yes, it is. Freeman gets it, and 3 fly balls to the outfield. Remain dominant defensively so far, and Landon Reith goes 1-2-3. Still a 1-0 lead for the Mustangs. No runs, no hits, no one left on base. And Arthur, nice job. How'd it feel?
Good.
Good. We'll get to hear more from our special friends here tonight, but your Mustangs still lead at 1-0 here on YouTube.
Bottom top here in the bottom of the third for your Mustangs. Tyler Gundelfinger leads off. You took the scoreboard off on the other screen. Gundelfinger currently hitting .306, has 1 bomb and also 9 RBIs. Not your normal 9-hole hitter. Looking to flip the lineup over the top. Looking to build on this 1-0 lead the Mustangs currently hold over the A's. Luke Spencer back to work for his 3rd inning. Pumps in a strike to Gundelfinger. Out in front of a changeup and quickly finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Oh, 2 to Gundy. Off the end of the bat.
Good hit. Foul ball, though.
Trying to keep it fair. Definitely don't want that ball to go foul. If that ball's fair, it's probably down the first base line. Might be a double, Cortez was saying.
If we win this one, it will be 20.
Now breaking ball on the corner. Got him looking. Gundelfinger wanted none of that Spencer breaking ball. And he heads back to the dugout. Second strikeout for Spencer. Now brings back up Logan Miller, who walked to lead off the game for the Mustangs and came around to score. Cortez, you like to see Miller do the same thing?
Yes.
He's first
It's a
pitch
good
swinging.
hit.
This at bat, but popped straight up. Spencer
He gonna catch it.
does catch it for out number 2. So quick 2 outs here in the third. You like that first pitch aggressiveness there from Miller, Cortez?
Yes.
She couldn't get on top of that ball. If he gets on top of it, that's probably balls in the gap. Instead, he got under it for a pop-up. Bring up Jack Mosh with 2 outs. He's singled to right. Back in the first, and then was gunned down on the double play that Darius Freeman grounded into.
Hit it along like the foul line. That that maybe get them like maybe to get them to like second base maybe.
Mosh does possess the speed that if he can rip one down that line, definitely can find his way onto second base or maybe even third base. Hitters count here 2-0. Mosh had a 10-game hit streak broken over the road trip. A couple of 0 for 4 outings, unfortunately, for Mosh. Looking to right the ship back at home. Still a .333 hitter. Leads this team in walks. He's on the verge of yet another up 3-0 in the count. And he does take another walk. So 2-out walk here to Mosh. Now brings back up Darius Freeman. I like that approach right there. Cortez not wanting to chase anything was Mosh and just willing to accept the walk. Now Darius Freeman, he grounded into a double play back in the first, but got an RBI. He's first pitch swinging also and skies one deep left, but Wilson again is there to retire the side. Spencer works around the 2-out walk to Mosh. No hits, 1 left for the Mustangs. We're a third of this way through this game. Mustangs still lead here 1-0 at Phil Welch as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube.
Welcome back into Phil Welch. It's Jackson. Joined next to me, Arthur, once again. And Arthur, still got the 1-0 lead. How are you feeling?
It's been a close game. The A's are getting comfortable.
They are getting a little comfortable. They're putting some good swings on. They put it in the outfield all 3 times. But Arthur did such a good job last inning. It's yours once again.
Ball outside. Looked a little close.
It was. You know, Reith really likes to go that outside.
A ball upstairs. That will be strike 1.
Nice job there by Reith getting that strike on the board.
Strike 2. The A's batter really should have swung at those 2. Both down the middle. Strike 3.
There you go. Landon Reith gets another strikeout on the board, and this one is looking. And Arthur, how'd you feel about that one?
It was really, those 3 pitches were just really good. The A's batter was definitely not happy about that one.
Definitely wasn't. You know, he looked like he just wanted to get something going for this team, but Reith another 1 out to start the inning.
Ball inside.
He went back to that off speed that you really like. See how many times he wants to do that again.
A little curveball there, I think. Landon is trying to keep things slow and easy because he's facing a lefty batter. Check swings. Strike 2.
Looks like he did check. Looks like he got a little bit of that bat on the ball as he fouls it off of Reith. But right now, Arthur, another 2-strike count. You know, Reith also looks pretty comfortable, would you say, on the mound tonight?
Yeah, if he puts a sinker down there, he should be good.
Should be. We'll look out. We'll look and see.
Or something downstairs to get him swinging. We'll just put the Mustangs on overall good pitching. The pitch fouls it off.
That one was hit pretty hard. That was rocketed off the bat of Knight. It's Knight last time he was up to bat, grounded out to Mosh, and Mosh made a heck of a diving grab on the outfield grass.
He did. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Ball outside. Another close call.
Looks like that pitch out of the arm. It just kind of trailed away from that zone.
He might have tried to put a slider in there. That's strike 3.
And there you go, back-to-back strikeout looking for Mr. Landon Reith. Arthur looks good.
The A's aren't happy about this pitching right now.
I don't blame him. Reith looking really comfortable here to start the 4th inning. 2 straight outs on 2 strikeouts looking. And Reith having himself another great outing on his good season here for the Mustangs. It'll bring up Brady Dobson, and Dobson singled back in the 2nd.
The pitch. Strike. That will be a ball.
Just missed off the plate. Reith likes to go east to west on this plate. One to keep these A's hitters guessing. He just missed on that outside part.
A swing and a miss. 1-2 count.
He's got another A's batter and a 2-strike count here, Arthur, seeing if he can retire the side 1-2-3 once again.
Something outside. That is hit center field, and that will be caught by the left fielder.
Arthur said it best. Trevor McCollum gets the 3rd out on the pop fly, and once again, back-to-back innings, 1-2-3 for Landon Reith. Still only 2 hits allowed for the A's, but no hits, no runs, no one left on base. And the Mustangs still lead it 1-0 as we're headed to the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on YouTube. Welcome back into Phil Welch. It's Jackson joined next to me, Truman. Once again, we'll give our friends some room, you know, to get a breather. They're doing a great job tonight so far. Hope you guys are enjoying it back at home as Justin George will lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth. Your Mustangs still at 1-0, and Truman on both sides of the ball. The Mustangs, you know, hasn't been the most, you know, electrifying hits, you know, but Reith has been doing the job keeping this at 1 run.
I mean, we saw it in that first game. This is a game of inches, a game of who can just get that 1 run. And, I mean, the Mustangs were able to manufacture a run. They were able to attack Spencer when he was weak. And, I mean, so far, Reith, he's pitched out of a couple of jams. He's been very impressive tonight and just had continued to roll.
He has only 2 hits allowed for him so far. Only 1 hit for the Mustangs, but did manage to get the run home on the RBI double play as George quickly down. No balls and 2 strikes to Spencer. Spencer's done his job really efficiently as well. Just a very unlucky walk, Drew Miller, and he got scampered all the way around to score the only run of this ball game. George down 0-2. Put the swing on and giving chases Cobb, but he will watch it go foul, and George keeps this at-bat alive. George from Queen Creek, Arizona, got to talk to him yesterday in the booth, along with many other Mustangs players. So if you guys want to get an insight on some of those, go back to yesterday's stream. 0-2 pitch, just misses outside. A good framework by Hamalar, but it misses outside.
Both these pitchers have shown an ability to really locate their breaking balls so far. I mean, that one just off the plate, but it's definitely a tempting pitch that he's gotten Mustangs to chase.
Once again, that off-speed worked it on the outside. George did a good job watching. He evens the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Queen Creek, Arizona kid plays his college ball at William Jewell in Liberty, Missouri. DHing tonight, taking a break from first as the off-speed. That's going to be flared just off the ground, and it'll go foul. So George, another foul ball, keeping it alive. George yesterday got to talk to him during that interview. Ping pong's a big part of this ball club, and he was talking about how he is on one of the bottom of the standings, but some of his other counterparts, like Tyler Gundolfinger, who was up here, says, you know, they definitely probably have a little bit more flair, but Justin George, if you're wondering, just not the biggest ping pong player in the world. 2 balls and 2 strikes to George. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and Spencer goes strikeout on George, gets him down swinging, and that'll be the first out of the ball of the inning.
She went with the high heat right there. Spencer, he's had some long counts, but he's also had way more short counts. And, I mean, just right there, George just couldn't catch up the heater. When you raise that heater to eye level, it's just so much harder for batters to not only make contact with it, but, I mean, if they do make contact, just put it in play.
It'll be Trevor McCollum. His first pitch swinging. That'll be fouled down the third base line. McCollum, 0-for-1 so far, popped out to right field back in the first inning. Not as many at-bats we'll see tonight, as it is a pitcher's matchup between both these squads. A 1 off speed, misses inside. McCollum, a really patient hitter. Won't go after too much that he doesn't like. He was out of Washburn University in Overland Park, Kansas, or his hometown. 1-1 pitch from Spencer. Just misses downstairs for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to McCollum. Playing left field tonight. He's made some pretty nice grabs out in the outfield. 2-1 pitch misses downstairs, and McCollum doing a nice job working a 3-1 count. Trying to get a 1-out base runner for the Mustangs and wreak some chaos on the base paths.
That's where Spencer's gotten in trouble when he's worked into 3-ball counts and fallen behind. He's more often than not walked the batter or given up a hit. He's much more comfortable working ahead in the count.
McCollum swinging on 3-1. Visibly upset at the plate after he missed that one, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to McCollum. McCollum looking to win the at-bat on Spencer. 3-2 pitch, misses downstairs, and McCollum works the full count walk. And another base runner on for the Mustangs.
Just great plate discipline right there. Spencer tried to locate that low fastball, wasn't able to. Now McCollum draws the walk and has some speed. Wouldn't be surprised if he tried to steal out in front of Coy and Philippi. Maybe a little hit and run action, just a little chaos that these Mustangs are so used to bringing on the base paths.
It'll bring up Chris Coy, one of the better players to hit with runners on. Off-speed misses upstairs for ball one. Had a good swing his first at-bat back in the second inning where he leaded it off. Just got underneath it and popped it out to Lenteo at short. McCollum on first, and there he goes towards second. Off-speed down. Throw is going to be not in time as it looked like it came out of the hands weird of Homelar, and McCollum's on second with a one-out stolen base.
I mean, just a great jump there from McCollum. And Hollomar, I mean, he stood up before throwing it. You want to throw through to second base. Right there was kind of a little action of up, then out. McCollum had such a great jump that that throw was nowhere close to getting him.
1-1 off speed in the zone for strike two. So Coy now a ball and 2 strikes. Looking to bring McCollum home for a cushion run for the Mustangs. 1-2 pitch to Coy. He's going to run inside on Coy, and that's going to clip him. And now back-to-back base runners on for the Mustangs, and that 1-2 pitch really rode inside on Coy.
That's not where you want to be if you're Spencer. Had him down 1 ball, 2 strikes. And you just try to do too cute with that fastball and it runs away from you. I mean, that's just about the worst thing he could have done, especially being ahead in the count.
And that'll bring up Easton Philippi. A nice spot here with just an out. 2 runners on with some big speed. McCollum on second. Hit into the outfield. Likely could score both if he puts it deep enough into the gap. First pitch to Philippi. Swing and a miss. Philippi wanting to get a hold of that ball early on. First pitch strike for Spencer.
These Mustangs have definitely been aggressive early in at-bats. Seen a lot of first pitch swing in, second pitch. Obviously saw something with Spencer attacking the zone early and trying to get on top of those balls in the zone.
Philippi's going to flare it into left field. It was a little bit shallow, but coming in to make the play is Wilson for the second out. No runners tagged up. It was too shallow, but 2 outs, and Spencer a little bit more of a breathing room as it brings up Jaden Little trying to complete the job.
That's also something we've seen. We haven't seen too many well-hit balls into the outfield, just about the Mosh single. A lot of these balls in the air off the end of the bat are jammed. No real catching barrels have the Mustangs so far.
Little, 2 outs. Runner on second and first. Trying to bring home just the job here just to get 1 run around on second. First pitch down to there. Good pick by Homelar. That'll keep McCollum on second. But a first pitch ball for Little. Little hails out of St. Joe. Got play-by-play action with Easton Philippi yesterday on yesterday's stream. As he'll go back to McCollum at second, nothing doing. As he's back head first. Little out of Lincoln University. And I'd say in another life, Little, by the way, yesterday, I mean, he could be a broadcaster. So he's going to put one high into shallow right field, giving chase. It's going to be Espelin, and he makes the play for the third out. So the Mustangs leave 2 on no hits, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Right. So we're headed to the top of the 5th. Your Mustangs still lead at 1-0 here on YouTube. Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium. It's Jackson and Arthur here. We have trivia here. First question of the night is, who closed out the Mustangs' 9th MINK League Championship against the A's in 2024? Was it A, Bronco Witt, B, Tim Teixeira, C, Jace Johnson, or D, Jaron Guck? So for any of you guys watching at home, who closed it out last year against the A's, where the Mustangs took home their 9th MINK League Championship? And the A's so far haven't gone anywhere in this game. Only trail 1 run as Reith back out on the mound for his 5th inning of work. And Arthur, what a game so far.
Yeah. Somehow the Mustangs are still holding with 1 run on the board, and that will be a grounder to second base.
It is. Mosh at second makes the nice play. And another quick out for Reith. Still looking really comfortable. Putting him in the zone, letting the A's do the work. Putting him on the ground for the defense, and that'll bring up Micah Nicholson. Popped out to left field last time he was up. And a good first out.
Shows the bump, pulls back for a strike. And that's strike number 1.
Nicholson also did that in his first at-bat.
That's a chopper to third, and that will be out number 2.
Good plays from this infield here, Arthur. What are you liking so far?
Landon is just getting in their head.
He is. He's really, not allowing them too many good pitches. Haven't really put anything too close for them to be able to hit. And 2 quick outs for Reith, as he's looking to go 1-2-3 for the 3rd straight inning of work and trying to keep a donut on the board for the A's.
That will be strike number 1. Quick inning so far.
It sure is. Last inning was really quick as well. Reith is doing a good job getting in and getting out.
Ball downstairs. Strike 1.
Espeland.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It can be a 1-3 inning for them. And that's strike 3.
Landon Reith gets Espeland swinging, and for back-to-back-to-back innings, Reith goes 1-2-3 and leaves the A's scoreless. Mustangs still lead it 1-0 here in a MINK heavyweight battle. We're going to be back here on YouTube right after this.
Bottom 5 here at Phil Welch. We are flying through this game. So we get a look at the weather track. Rain came through earlier. Currently a little cooler than we've seen and felt these past homestand, 79 degrees. And some rain in the forecast for later tonight. Hopefully the game will get done by the time the rain comes through. And Cortez, do you have a favorite season? Do you like the summer and the heat, or would you prefer the winter and it being cold?
I like the summer, but my favorite season is fall, because that's when my birthday is, and And it's kind of like mid. It's in the middles, kind of.
Tyler Gundelfinger gets the Stangs started here. They've had base runners these past 2 innings, but Luke Spencer's been able to pitch around them. Gundelfinger was caught looking on a breaking ball, his first chance against Spencer. Now Spencer again has him down 1-2 in the count. Spencer in his 5th inning of work. No movement yet in that Clarinda bullpen. This is with a fastball on the outside. Gundelfinger trying to be the first leadoff man on since the bottom of the first when they scored. There's another breaking ball. Spencer thought he had him again. The umpire just shakes his head. Now the count has gone full after Gundelfinger was down 1-2. The full count offering. In the dirt again, so Gundelfinger comes back from down 1-2 and works the leadoff walk here in the 5th. Did you like that at bat, Cortez, from Gundelfinger, not chasing anything and working the walk?
Yeah, we got to a base at least.
That base all important. The leadoff man now flips the lineup card back to the top and Logan Miller. It's 0 for 1. He walked and scored all the way back in the 1st. Then popped to Spencer out on the mound in the 3rd. 3rd chance here against Spencer. Miller had a 10-game hit streak broke last Saturday. The game he did work 4 walks. Could not come through with a hit against the North Missouri Naturals. That one gets past the glove of Hallamar and allows Gundelfinger to move now into scoring position with still nobody out on the wild pitch. Miller guy wasn't known for driving in runs, but has 6 on the season. Looking to get his 7th right here. At the minimum, move Gundelfinger over. Now Spencer has lost him down 3-0. Cortez, what are you seeing from Spencer in this inning compared to these last couple innings when he just mowed through the Mustangs hitters?
He's kind of doing a little bit better.
Got himself in a jam right here. Going to need to pitch around it. .3-0 from Spencer. Miller's just willing to take a strike. Still very much in the driver's seat. Big hole on the right side as Nicholson holding Gundelfinger on, but only backing up just a few feet to the right of second base. So a big hole between first and second. Miller bloops one into center, and it'll fall. First hit for Miller. Gundelfinger had to watch it land, so he'll just move up to third. Now the Mustangs have runners on the corners here with still nobody out. First hit of the night for Miller, second hit as a team for the Mustangs. Now they've got the meat of this order coming up, starting with Jack Mosh, who's reached base twice against Spencer. Single and a walk. Cortez, what would you like to see Mosh do right here?
Just hit it far out so third base can get the home.
Miller takes off for second, no throw. So now 2 Mustangs are in scoring position. for Mosh. Second stolen base of the night for the Mustangs, first for Miller. It's now really anything but the infield pop-up or a strikeout drives in a run here. Mosh will sky one out. Deep center, it's taking Macon back. He'll make the grab. Both runners tag. Gundelfinger scores, and Miller moves up to third, and it's a quality at-bat for Jack Mosh, doubling the Mustangs' lead. Now 2-0. Now it'll be Darius Freeman, 0 for 2 on his line, but does have an RBI.
This is a good game to watch.
The fans that have packed out Phil Welch here are getting a treat between the top two teams in the MINK League.
And he hits it. Foul ball.
It was a good swing from Freeman. Spencer has been throwing quality pitches early in at-bats. These Mustangs have been trying to time those up. Now Spencer has Freeman down 0-2, looking for the punch out to move himself closer to getting out of this pickle. And he gets Freeman to chase a fastball low and away. Does get the strikeout he needed. Now there are 2 outs with Miller still at third base. Tough at bat there, Cortez by Freeman. I mean, he wanted to drive in a run, just wasn't able to.
Yeah. We just need to hit it far so he can get a run.
Justin George definitely has the power to hit it far. He was hit by a pitch back in the first and struck out swinging in the fourth against Spencer.
Hits it. Foul ball.
Finds himself now down 0-2 Spencer. George behind in the count, 0-2. Spencer deals, gets him to chase for strike 3 and end the inning, but not before the Mustangs scratch across another run on a sac fly by Jack Mosh, doubling their lead, now 2-0. So we're headed to the top of the 6th here at Phil Welch. You're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube.
Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium. Trivia answer here. Who closed out the 9th MINK League Championship against the A's last year in 2024? If you guessed D. Jaron Guck, you are correct. Jaron Guck, one of the current players so far on the Mustangs, has had himself a dominant season so far. Closed it out last year. But it's Landon Reith back on the mound. And my friend Arthur been doing a great job tonight. The floor is yours once again.
Thank you. Outside pitch looks really close.
Sure was. Looks, he's putting them close to the zone every time.
2-0 count. The pitch will be in there for a strike. 2-1.
That was a good pitch there. What do you think, Arthur? I mean, Reith went back to that off speed, and he's catching these A's kind of off guard.
Yeah. Strike 2. 2-2 count. He can put. Can he do another 1-2-3?
We'll see here. Reith, it's Colin Lentillo down 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Strike 3. A nice off-speed pitch to get the strikeout.
Reith has been so reliant on that off speed tonight. It's been working out in his favor so much. Yet another strikeout, and that'll start another inning with 1 out. And like you mentioned, Arthur, we're going to see if he wants to go 1-2-3 once again.
Is at the start of the lineup. The A's might put something in the outfield. Ball 1.
Reith's 5th strikeout of the day, dealing so far. Only 2 hits allowed on the A's. Predominantly one of the better hitting lineups in the Mink.
The pitch is ball down low. 2 balls, no strikes. Will this be the end to the 1-2-3 chances? Strike 1, 2-1.
Not going to give it up that easy, you know. Goes up 2 balls, no strikes. Definitely doesn't want to plate the runner on. The runner has not been on for the A's since the 2nd inning.
Ball 2. Ball 3. 3-1 count. This might end the 1-2-3. And there goes the 1-2-3 chances.
So there it goes as he works the 5-pitch walk on Tyler Macon. And that'll plate Drake Cobb, and now a 1-out base runner for the A's, looking to try and get 1 run on the board, try and even out this deficit at 2 runs.
The Mustangs had a phenomenal batting last inning.
They sure did. You know, they got runners on, and they did the job. You know, it wasn't the most flashiest way to get the run home, but they did the job.
Still close game. Ball down low. Landon's getting a little wild.
Landon's just trying to, you know, like he said, just getting a little erratic, might be getting a little tired. This is his 6th inning of work, so definitely want to try and reel back into those pitches he knows he can get.
Ball down low. That looked like a strike to me.
You know, from up here, it definitely did, but, you know, probably braked a little bit more down to the dirt than we probably saw.
Strike. 2-1 count.
You know, right here, Arthur, you know, you got the runner on with 1 out. Double play is another possibility for these Mustangs.
It is. I think Landon is trying to set them up for that double play. That will be strike 2. 2-2 count.
Nice job by Landon once again. You know, he lost Macon in the last at-bat on 3-1. Now in another 2-strike count, we'll see if he can get another out on the board for the Mustangs.
That will get in. The A's are going to 3rd. Runners on the corners.
Runners on the corners, and what a hit and run. Pulled Coy off of his main spot at short. He was going to go cover 2nd, and a beautiful swing put on by Cobb as it put it right through that hole. That Coy patting himself on the chest saying, my bad, but there's not much you can do there. The job is to cover for the steal. Just Cobb outworked there. Like you said, runners on the corners with the just and out. A's trying to get their first run of the ball game.
They're fighting back. They're fighting back. 0-0 count. The pitch. Strike 1, swinging.
So they'll bring up Kane Wilson. Wilson trying to get that first run, like I mentioned, for the A's. That'll be their 3rd hit off the bat of Cobb, and he extends his hitting streak to 4 games.
0 count. That will be hooked to right field, left field. That will score the A's first run for the ball game. 1-run lead for the Mustangs.
And right there, what a piece of hitting it was, Arthur, from Wilson. Got the inside pitch, and like you said, just hooked it down the left field line. Beautiful piece of hitting with the runner on 3rd. And here you go. The A's starting to make a little bit of a 1-out comeback, and they still have a runner in scoring position.
And the bunt is down. First will be the throw out. Runners on 2nd and 3rd.
And you know, for anyone watching at home, Arthur, you saw right there the bunt was worked off to a success. You move both the runners over, you get the out on the board, but right here, a base hit could really open the lead up for the A's. If he puts one far enough, they could score both runs here.
Tying 1 on 3rd. Leading run on 2nd. A hit down the line will put the A's at lead.
And it'll be Brady Dobson trying to give the A's their first lead with a hit here. Reith trying to fight his way out.
Strike 1. Here goes the pitch by Landon. Strike 2. This could be it.
It's a beautiful payoff pitch there. Had him 0-1. Went right back to that off speed on the inside part. Now Dobson's going to have to kind of shrink up, open up his zone a little bit more. Had it shrunken down. Let's see what Reith can do.
Strike 3. That's out. 1, 2, 3.
There it goes once again. Reith does get a run home for the A's, but did a good job leaving 2 on in scoring position. Keeps the deficit at 1 run. Back to a 1-run lead go the Mustangs. They lead it 2-1 as we're headed to the bottom of the 6th. You're watching Mustangs baseball here on YouTube.
A's cut the lead in half in the top half of the 6th, and that will be the day for Luke Spencer. He goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, strikes out 5, but it was the big 4 walks that hurt him and also yielded 2 hits. Gives way to Max Johnson, who in 6 appearances has gone 6 innings. Has given up 4 runs, but has also struck out 10 and only walked 4. So a high throwing guy. Definitely can allow some hits. 10 hits allowed in those 6 innings. So he gets the middle of this Mustang order. Trevor McCollum, Chris Coy, and Easton Philippi looking to build back up the lead. McCollum's ahead here early, 2-0. McCollum walked and stole a base his last time up against Spencer. Also flying out to left. And he's quickly ahead 3-0. Cortez, what do you think? New arm out of the pen for the A's. Do you like to see the Mustangs try and score some more runs?
Yes. I hope we get to 5.
Hoping the Mustangs can plate 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Landon Reed did his job. 6 very strong innings, just yielding the 1 run. Seeing if his team can hold on for the win. Now the count goes full to McCollum.
Any swings in?
Hits it over to Lateo, who makes a great play to throw up McCollum by a step for the first out.
He should have slided.
That's always a question. You know, some people do say that sliding into first base slows you down. Cortez says that McCollum had slid, he would have been safe. Now to Chris Coy was 0 for 1 against Spencer. A pop out to short, but was also hit by a pitch. Back in the 4th.
Strike.
Coy graduated from Benton High School back in May. Is taking his talents to the Northwest up to the University of Omaha, Nebraska. Will get to play his home games inside legendary Charles Schwab Field. Cortez, Chris Coy, he's down 1 and 2. Like to see him try to get on base right here.
Just try to get a base.
He's taking a couple sliders outside. Making it hard for Johnson. So far, has only had to pitch 1 inning as his longest outing this season. See if he's asked to get more than 1. Two-two offering to Coy. He lines one left center gap, but it's going to hang up just enough for Wilson, who makes a nice running play.
He needs to just try to hit it along the foul ball line, but not over it.
Ball looked like it was destined to land and be for a double for Coy, but Wilson was able to come over and snag it. 2 outs brings up Easton Philippi. He's flying out to Wilson both of his times against Spencer.
Is somebody going to go try to get that ball? I still see it. It's over there. He's going to get it.
A lot of people going after this foul balls here at Phil Welch. Don't have to return them.
He doesn't see it.
Johnson drops in a breaking ball. Now ahead of Philippi 1 and 2. Trying to see if there's a little 2-out magic here in the 6th. He lines one left center field. That one will fall between Wilson and Macon. Philippi makes the turn. He'll jog into second with a 2-out stand-up double.
He just needs to keep playing like that.
See if he can pass the torch to his teammates as it brings up Jaden Little. He was 0 for 2 on his line against the starter, Spencer. Struck out looking and flied to right. Philippi, even though he's a catcher, definitely has some slick wheels on him. So a base hit to the outfield can more than likely score him. Little, his last at-bat in the fourth, he came to bat with 2 runners on, but couldn't come through. Can he come through for the Mustangs right here?
Ooh.
Count even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Another one fouled back, yeah. Cortez, do you think Johnson goes back to the fastball again, or do you think he tries to get Little with the breaking ball?
I think he should go for the hit.
Throws a pitch in the dirt, not one Little wanted to hit and lays off. Stays alive in the count. Two from Johnson.
Swing.
Did not swing, wanted to go after the slider, but now the count goes full. 3-2. Little looking to drive in his 9th run of the season. And on 3-2, he takes ball 4 outside. Comes all the way back from down 1-2 to work the walk and keep the inning alive for Tyler Gundelfinger. Gundelfinger right now is the difference in the game as he walked and came around to score in the 5th. Struck out looking at his other at-bat. He's first pitch swinging. That one's going to be lined, but it hangs up just enough for Nicholson,
Dang it.
who grabs it to end the inning. Definitely a frustrating end to the inning. Mustangs looked promising. 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 left in the inning, but no runs across. We're headed to the 7th. Mustangs 2, A's 1.
Welcome back into Phil Welch Stadium. A pitching change. Out to pitch is Bronco Witt. And Witt so far this season has been pretty good. It'll make his 7th appearance. His 2 games started, a 2-0 win-loss record, 13 innings pitched with 13 strikeouts, an ERA of 4.15, and just 6 earned runs. But I'm going to hand it back over to Arthur. Arthur, you've been doing a fantastic job tonight as its kids take over Phil Welch Day. You ready for another inning of Mustangs baseball?
Yeah, 7th inning. Pitch 1, strike.
As you'll see here, Arthur, Bronco Witt, he really likes that fastball. He's one of the most harder throwing guys on the team.
And that will be a base hit up the middle for the A's. Already got a guy on first.
That was a scary-looking swing there, right up the middle. Right up the middle, a nice swing put on by Homelar. And like you said, a quick base runner for the A's. That could be a difference maker as just down 1 run. As that'll bring up Micah Nicholson.
And that will, the wild pitch would put the runner on first on second.
Yeah, definitely not what you want there from Witt. A quick runner in scoring position with no outs. He's going to get a talk from Phillippe trying to calm the nerves out of the pen. But the A's look pretty solid. You know, the new guy trying to get him rattled early. Witt, one of the guys that doesn't get rattled. He's really calm. He really likes to be in these types of situations. But so far, Nicholson this season batting .282, 8 RBIs on 11 hits, 39 at-bats. So definitely a guy you want hitting with Homelar on second base. But like you mentioned, got over on the wild pitch.
Ball down low. 2 balls, no strikes. The pinch by Bronco. That will be into foul territory.
So it's like Nicholson just couldn't catch up to that fastball. Kind of put it down low. Nicholson, it was too fast for him, so he had to just get a bat on it.
The pitch by Bronco. Ball 3.
Right there, if you're Witt, you don't really want to put 2 runners on back-to-back with no outs. Trying to calm back, put one in the zone.
Ball 4. This is not looking good for the Mustangs.
Not the best start out of the cards from Bronco coming out of the pen. Still some life. You have a double play opportunity. Probably want to get 2 on the board right now with no outs. And bringing up to hit, it'll be Jake Espeland trying to bring home at least one of these runners 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout.
The pitch shows the bunt, pulls back.
And right now, Arthur, this is a big spot for the A's. I mean, they're down 1 run, but they have an opportunity to try and take the lead once again. They couldn't do that a couple, inning ago, but they're just looking to try and mount a little bit of a comeback.
Bunt fouled back. 1-1 count. Bronco got a case of the yips. It's not looking good for Bronco.
You know, there's definitely some room for improvement. You know, he's definitely trying to get some strikes back in, but not the way out of the pen he was looking for. But he does have the ability to try and get this back as Little's in pretty close.
Shows the bunt again. High bunt. That will be 1 ball, 2 strikes. If he bunts another foul one, that would be strike 3.
That is right. If you do bunt on 2 strikes and it is foul, that is strike 3, but likely going to try and swing here on two strikes. But this is definitely the best situation Bronco's been in so far coming out of the bullpen.
That's 3. Broncos getting in there.
does just that. Puts down Espeland, back-to-back strikeouts for Espeland as he goes back. Now 1 out on the board for Bronco. Runners have not moved in that last at-bat, so still runners on first and second for the A's. Bronco's just looking to put that in the zone once again. Can't lose the runners to the hitters to the walk. Just got to go back to his stuff. Put the ball on the ground, hope for the double play.
The pitch is fouled.
Well, that was close, wasn't it, Arthur? That thing was getting real close to the fair line, and if that went fair, that's bad news for the Mustangs.
Broncos trying to hold them, too, on the bases.
Which the Mustangs have really done a really good job so far tonight at leaving the A's on the base paths. And they've put them on with those 5 hits and a surplus of walks, but they've done a good job holding them.
They have.
Back to the top of the lineup, it's Colin Lantillo.
The pitch. Inside, ball 1. 1-1 count.
That was riding up really high to that shoulder area. That thing looks like it was going to hurt on Lantillo.
The pitch will be a ground out to Latino. Could be a double play. Two outs, does not get the play at first.
Doesn't look like it. Witt kind of had a little bit of a hesitation. He was wanting to go to first, went over to second, but yeah, I bet if he got that over to second a little bit quicker, Coy might have had a better time to get the runner at first, but runners on the corners.
Yeah, runners on the corners.
2 outs, and Witt trying to keep no runs allowed here in the top of the 7th.
Ball looked like a strike.
It's getting close.
The starting lineup on the A's are good hitters.
Yeah, they sure are. They're really disciplined. You know, they don't swing at anything too far out. They've been working the counts really well, especially here against Witt in the 7th.
They have.
Tyler Macon trying to make some damage here. Up 2 balls, no strikes.
2-0 count. That's strike 1.
And right there, Arthur, you see down 2 balls, no strikes, gets that strike. You know, that's a little bit of a confidence booster for Witt with 2 outs.
Definitely. Cobb looking good at the plate. Ball 3. Cobb can get very comfortable because he only has 1 strike on him.
He sure does. Right now, 3 balls and a strike. Looking to try and at least get the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Ball 4. Bases loaded.
For Bronco, I mean, that is definitely, you know, there are 2 outs. He'll get a pitching mound visit from pitching coach Mack. He's trying to get those nerves settled again. You know, Witt has been kind of losing those batters in those 3-ball counts and hasn't been paying off for him. I mean, so far this inning, just the 1 hit allowed, but that will be the 2nd walk issued by Witt. Here was Lantillo on 2nd. He reached on the fielder's choice, and it'll bring up Drake Cobb.
Bases are loaded.
And right now, Cobb coming up to the plate for the A's. The team's best hitter, leads the Mink in batting average, 3rd in RBIs. This is the guy you don't want the bases loaded for the A's. He makes some damage. Had 4 hits, 4 hits against Sedalia in their last game. The guy definitely knows how to get barrel to the ball. So far, just 1 for 3. Had a single back in the 6th. Looking to get the same answer here.
He sure is. Strike.
And right there, Arthur, off the mound visit, just trying to calm him, say, hey, just throw some strikes. That's a good look from Witt.
Bronco got some motivation from his pitching coach. Looking good. Ball up high. Trying to get him to chase.
You know, Cobb's been looking real patient all night. You know, Right now with bases loaded, definitely won't swing at anything that he can't get. So Witt's really going to have to play with that zone.
The pitch. Got him swinging. 1-2.
Witt trying to leave the A's stranded, bases loaded with 2 outs. Mustangs 2-1 lead here in the top of the 7th.
Fouled off.
That's a good swing by Cobb. Saw something close. Witt put a lot of heat on that fastball. Cobb did a good job just catching up to it, keeping the at-bat alive. Those are some of the toughest pitches to get down 2 strikes, noticing that, oh, this is getting close. I should probably swing at it.
Yeah, it is getting really close. Ball up high. 2-2 count.
Doing a good job. That's the second time Witt's trying to go upstairs on him. He's definitely see how much he can test Cobb with a 2-strike count. And right now, Arthur, what are you thinking if you are Witt on the mound?
At least try to throw something low and off speed. He's been just throwing those fastballs in. And throws the off speed. That's up. Oh, no, that's going to score. Tied ball game. Going home. The A's take the lead for the first time tonight.
Like you said, Arthur, the A's take a 3-2 lead. They lead it with 2 outs in the top of the 7th on a 2 RBI single from Drake Cobb. And that'll be his 2nd hit of the night. And he continues his dominant batting season for the A's.
The Mustangs have to put something together at the bottom of the 7th.
They sure do. And right now it is go time for Bronco Witt to just get an out on the board. Still a runner in scoring position on 2nd.
That's up. That'll be out number 3. Amazing comeback by Bronco.
It was. Bronco leaves 2 stranded, but does give up 2 on the 2 RBI single to Drake Cobb. And the Mustangs, for the first time tonight, trail 3-2, headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. But once again, I've been Jackson Phelps. Join next to me, play-by-play tonight has been Arthur, doing an amazing job tonight. And it'll be back over to Truman and Cortez. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th. You're watching Mustangs baseball here on YouTube.
Clarinda plates 2 in the top half of the 7th. Now your Mustangs find themselves back down by 1, but it's the top of the order, Cortez. So if this was the part of the order to get a rally going, it is the top of the order. Led off by Logan Miller. Miller's 1 for 2 tonight. He singled and was stranded at 3rd back in the 5th. He walked and scored in the 1st. What do you like to see Miller do right here, Cortez?
Let's just see him try to hit the ball.
Max Johnson back out for his 2nd inning of work. So definitely the longest outing of his season so far.
Swing and hit it. Foul ball. I do not know where that went.
Puts Miller down, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He swings. Another foul ball.
Miller's a guy, if he can get on, he can manufacture his way into scoring position. Then you've got guys like Mosh, Freeman, and George behind him that all have run driving in capabilities. Doesn't offer at the breaking ball. That's a tough breaking ball from Johnson, wouldn't you say, Cortez?
Yes. He's going to swing. Foul ball.
Again, was trying to line it up that right field line. A lot of foul territory near the dugout and about down the line about another 100 feet, but then it really tapers off once you get into the corner by the 307 sign. Another 2-2 offering. This one grounded right back up the middle. Scooped up by Nicholson, and Miller will be retired for out number 1. So now brings up Jack Mosh. He's 1 for 1 on his night. Drove in a run with a sac fly his last time up. Mosh looking to get a rally going here for the Stangs. Clarinda pitching is yet to retire him. He's ahead 2-0, so definitely a big hitter's count, Cortez, that Johnson might leave him a mistake and Mosh might tattoo a ball.
Let's hit it out of the park.
A home run would tie it. Last pitch caught the inside zone. A lot of groans from the crowd. Thought that was maybe a hair too inside, and now Johnson responds, evening the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two-two offering. Outside. Mosh looking to work his second walk of the night. Full count offering. Mosh stays alive. Trying to find any way on base. Mosh, another guy who definitely is a threat to steal and be aggressive on the base paths. That full count offering downstairs. Mosh's second walk of the night, and Clarinda still has yet to solve the mystery that is Jack Mosh. That'll be Darius Freeman. 0 for 3 on his night with an RBI. But a ball in the gap, at the least, puts runners at second and third with 1 out. But again, with Mosh's speed, ball in the gap can also has a high probability of scoring him. Freeman, one of the hottest hitters for the Mustangs this past week, past couple of weeks. Great road trip. It's raised his average above 300. Mosh has been caught stealing once this year. It's when he was picked off second back in the Mustangs' first loss of the season, a 2-1 loss to the Kansas City Monarchs. Mosh not going. Freeman fouls one back. Now finds himself down 1-2. He's already grounded into one double play tonight. Johnson hoping he can get him to ground into a second one. Pitch way upstairs. He was not swinging. 2-2.
If he would have swung, that would not have been good.
Probably would have waved at and missed, Cortez. You're absolutely right. And he waves and misses. Second time Freeman is struck out. And a big strikeout from Johnson as Mosh still at first base. Now 2 outs here for Justin George. Not the best at bat there from Darius Cortez. That'll be JG. He struck out swinging in his last 2 trips to the plate.
You just got to try your hardest.
Gonna try his hardest. He was also hit by a pitch. Gonna try his hardest to tie this game up. And then now the second time he's been hit.
How does that not hurt?
So the free passes continue to hurt Clarinda. As now Mosh moves into scoring position for Trevor McCollum. Yeah, Cortez, a ball to the bat can't hurt, especially a fastball. A lot of these guys are throwing 80 miles an hour or even faster. So that one can't feel too good.
He walked it off like it was nothing.
Overland Park native is McCollum. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Looking to come through with his first hit and tie this ball game. Some light throwing going on in Clarinda's bullpen. They're hoping Johnson can get out of it, give them 2 shutout innings, preserve the lead. Now 3 consecutive pitches have run 2 inside of these right-hand hitters. Already hit George. Now he's 2-0 to McCollum. Now off the end of the bat, jammed, and that'll get passed into right field by Cobb. Turkeying and heading for home is Marsh to throw in. Not in time! Tie ball game here in the 7th, courtesy of a jam shot single by Trevor McCollum. And George is now at third, so now the runners are at the corners, and Cortez, that was quite the at-bat from Trevor McCollum.
Yes, it was.
A big-time at-bat, almost like scoring the game-tying goal in hockey in the 3rd period. But now it'll be Chris Coy looking to give the Mustangs back the lead. He's 0 for 2. And gotten drilled. And he swings, lines one to left, but Wilson has a beat on it, and he'll make the grab. But a clutch 2-out RBI single from Trevor McCollum ties this game back up at 3 as we're headed to the 8th here at Phil Welch. Brand new ball game, tied 3-3.
Tie game here at Phil Welch. Mustangs notch it with a 1-run RBI single last inning. That'll bring Diego de Santiago out of the pen. Another hard-throwing pitcher coming in out of a dominant bullpen season he's had. He'll make his 8th appearance. He's got 8 innings pitched, and ERA still not allowed a run so far this season. So if there's one man to keep this game tied up at 3 runs, it'll be Diego de Santiago. And I'm Jackson Phelps. Again, joined next to me, Arthur. And Arthur, what a ball game we've been able to watch here.
Yeah, like I said, the Mustangs were able to come back with a 2-out RBI single.
They sure were. You know, you go down 1 run, and all you got to do is just get those runners on, and they did just that, and they got the job done. Ties the ball game at 3 runs.
Let's hope Santiago can put some in there.
It'll be Cooper Knight leading it off for the A's, trying to get a late run, late game, come back here, put some runs on the board. But I'm going to hand it back over to Arthur back for some play-by-play. She's been killing it tonight. And Arthur, it's all yours.
The pitch. Ball 1.
Santiago, like Witt, really likes to rely on that heater fastball. One of the more harder throwing guys on the team.
The pitch is grounded out to the mound. Santiago gets the first out.
And a big first out. Right there, just jammed him on the inside, put it right back at him. Santiago did a good job just gloving it. Sometimes that can be a hard reaction, but Santiago, a really nice clutch first out for the Mustangs. And trying to roll through this in the 8th, trying to set these bats up to get a lead run going into the 9th. It'll be Brady Dobson up next for the A's, trying to get some life back in here in the 8th.
Strike 1. Heater inside. That's just
pitch.
Really, just a really good pitch. Another strike in there.
There you go. The confidence from de Santiago, Arthur, is really showing coming out of the bullpen. Not afraid. The A's have been pretty hot with 6 hits. He's not afraid to go and attack them.
For sure. And that's a hit. Ground out to shortstop. They get him for out number 2.
Right there, Chris Coy. Fundamentally sound over there at shortstop. Read it off the line drive, off the hop. Dobson really got a good swing on it, but Coy was right there to field it, and it made an amazing throw over to Little. It is far back. He was kind of playing on the outside edge near the grass, but 2 quick outs for de Santiago. Trying to build some confidence back into the Mustangs, trying to get some more runs going, try and keep that same momentum they had in the bottom of the 7th up.
Wild pitch by Santiago. Strike in there. Check swing by the A's batter. That will put 2 balls and 1 strike.
Diego de Santiago last spring at Metropolitan Community College out of Kansas City, 13 appearances, 18 innings pitched, and 15 strikeouts. So a solid spring
Diego
at MCC.
pitches. Pitch. Oh! That just nailed the A's batter right in the head.
It sure did, and that was a loud pop off the helmet of Humalar, and that'll plate the first base runner on the inning for the A's, trying to get a little spark going. It's Micah Nicholson trying to respond off of that, but trying to make sure he's okay. Luckily, it hit the helmet, nothing on the neck. Safely reaches first, got right back up, and de Santiago just, trying to reel himself back in after a wild pitch like that.
Yeah.
Nicholson reached on a walk back in the 7th.
Now Santiago has a kind of advantage facing a lefty batter.
That's right, he does.
But the lefty also has a big advantage on Santiago.
You know, DeSantiago right now, really, you want to predominantly try and pull that on the outside half of the zone. Nicholson can probably drive something down that right field line as Freeman's giving him a little bit of space.
2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3. Not looking good for DeSantiago.
You know, 2 outs. You know, plating Nicholson wouldn't be the worst thing. You got 9-hole. It was also 0 for 3 today. You just need to get that confidence back, maybe throw a strike here.
Ball 4.
Right there, DeSantiago, 2 runners back-to-back. Go get a talk from Philippi. Got 2 outs on the board, so he still doesn't have to really do anything too fancy. Just needs to throw some strikes, trust the defense with 2 outs. You have wiggle room here, but you can't give anything too close to Espeland, who, like I mentioned, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts today. Santiago, like much of the other counterparts of this bullpen, and starting was Reith, trying to leave runners stranded for these A's. Trying to keep the game not tied up at 3, Arthur.
Yeah. Ball. Looks like a strike from my angle. The pitch is fouled off.
Fouled off from Espeland. Once again, if you're just tuning in to the broadcast, I'm Jackson Phelps. Joined next to me is Arthur and Cortez. It's kids take over Phil Welch tonight, so we're having them in the broadcast. Truman Greasa will be on next half inning as well, so you'll get to hear from him. But we love what we've gotten to see from these 2 special guests tonight.
Upstairs. 2-1 count. They're looking for the ground out at second or third.
Would be ideal.
Ball upstairs. 3-1 count.
You don't want to walk the 9-hole hitter going back to that top of the lineup.
You really don't.
Lentillo's on deck for the A's. Reached on a fielder's choice. It's been 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Walked. Bases loaded for the A's.
Just like that. Bases are loaded, like you said, Arthur. DeSantiago, 3 straight batters have been issued.
Now there's a mound visit for DeSantiago.
Mack is going to give him a little bit of a talk. Got 2 outs on the board, but a base hit will score 2. And deep enough, it could unload the bases for the A's as it's tied up. We'll have to see if they want to get some we do see some motion out in the Mustangs bullpen. So we'll have to see. He's just going to let DeSantiago go out and finish it out with 2 outs on the board, but a clutch time. And Arthur, what's going through your head right now? Bases loaded, 2 outs.
I'm hoping that DeSantiago can get the same motivation that Bronco got with his mound visit.
100% went out of there. Came out looking real confident. Threw some strikes, and DeSantiago just needs to do that. Can't lose another runner. Can't
the Mustangs need to come back. Ball. Yikes.
Just trying to find that zone. I think right now the most important thing is, you know, you give up a hit, give up 2, but you can't give another runner a base and walk home a run.
Strike in there.
Good payoff pitch from DeSantiago. Work that confidence back in.
I think Santiago figured out that he can't get Colin to chase that well. Strike 2.
There you go, 2-strike count here versus Santiago. After the mound visit, looking to see if he can retire the top of the order in Lentillo and leave the bases loaded.
Santiago is just trying to put one in there. Yes! That's strikeout number 30. 1, 2, 3.
And like Arthur says, that'll be strike 3 to Santiago, giving some pats to Philippi as they leave the bases loaded as we're headed into the bottom of the 8th. Mustangs trying to wake up those bats and take a lead into the 9th. But I'm Jackson Phelps. Joined next to me, Arthur, special guest, has killed it tonight with the play-by-play. And it'll be Truman and Cortez coming right up here on YouTube.
Diego de Santiago strands the bases loaded in the top half of the 8th. And Cortez, I got a joke for you. Why was 6 scared of 7?
I don't know why.
Because 7, 8, 9. And that's who's coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th for the Mustangs. It'll be Philippi, Little, and Gundelfinger. They got Max Johnson in the bottom half of the 7th for a run. Now they'll look to take the lead with a run as Philippi skies one deep right center. And that'll, what a play! Laying out on the warning track was Espeland.
How did he just catch that?
In shock, Espeland had to run about 50 feet. And he lays out to take away what would have been at least a triple from Easton Philippi.
What just happened?
Cortez and myself in disbelief. And Cortez, I don't know. That ball just kept carrying and carrying as there was a storm coming through possibly here to St. Joe. The flag really blowing straight away center. And I thought for sure that was going to be extra bases. But Espeland had other plans. Now it'll be Jaden Little. He chops one up the middle.
Go,
On a
go.
run
He
is
got it.
Lenteo.
Did he get it?
And he throws out Little for out number 2. So after the scare from Philippi, Johnson gets Little to roll over. Now 2 quick outs for Tyler Gundelfinger.
We're going to get it back.
Gundelfinger 0 for 2. He's also walked and scored a run. He's also hit 1 homer this season with the wind blowing out. This might be one of those golden opportunities.
I want to see it out of the park home run.
Johnson misses low, 1-1. The A's have had golden opportunities to plate a surplus of runs in each of the 7th and 8th innings, but have only been able to scratch across 2. Meanwhile, the Mustangs, when they've had base runners, they've been able to capitalize. They left 2 on in the 4th and 2 on in the 6th. But other than that, they've been able to score, and they've gotten runners on. And now Gundelfinger in the driver's seat, up 3-1. with Logan Miller in the top of the lineup standing on deck. Some Let's Go Mustangs in the crowd. And Gundelfinger works the 2-out walk. Second walk Gundelfinger has drawn tonight. Now puts the go-ahead run on for Logan Miller.
The chances of getting a home run is one person on first base, one person on second, one person on third, and then one person hitting.
Be Logan Miller. So far tonight, Miller's 1 for 3. He also has a stolen base, a walk, and a run scored. Leave it right there. Miller going to take his time. Wasn't necessarily happy with that last call. Thought that was where the first pitch was. Steps back in. Count 1-1. Go ahead run standing on first base, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And he chases a slider down and away, and that was a nasty pitch there from Johnson. Gundelfinger takes off for second. Throw down. What a snag on a hop by Nicholson, and he applies the tag, and Gundelfinger is gunned down to end the inning. What a throw by Holomar. What a scoop and tag by Nicholson. And we're still tied, headed to the 9th. Diego de Santiago out for inning number 2, but we'll be back. Headed to the 9th here at Phil Welch. 3-3 is our score.
Welcome back into Phil Welch. Diego de Santiago, his second inning of work, left the bases stranded, and we are going to get a warning from the umpire, and we have lightning in the area. And in the 9th inning, here comes the rain, and it's heavy downpouring here at Phil Welch. And in the 9th inning, we are going to get a rain delay, and we are tied at 3. No outs in the top of the 1st. Top of the 9th. I don't know why I said top of the 1st. Top of the 9th. We are going to get a rain delay and showers coming down hard at Phil Welch. But we'll be right back. Tarp's going to get put out, and hopefully we'll be able to resume play here tonight.